All right, that seems positive. Yeah, all right. Mic check. Is this thing working? Can't decide if I need to get my headphones on. Yeah, thanks, Brian. All right. Looks like we added a few people. Who do we have? I think I saw PJ in here. Black Cat said hi. Janos, Bob, Sam, Christopher, Demetrius, Catherine, Brian. Black Cat, I just said two of you twice. Michael McCoy. James, Extreme Bass. John and Dr. Vaughn, Pocket Change. How is everybody tonight? Somewhere I had a count of the people, and that's gone. So hopefully I see you coming in. Jigsaw, there you are, love button. I thought I saw you. Pocket Change, what mount light are you using? So I don't have my phone on this right now. This is a SLR. What is it, a D6? And then I've got a Blue Yeti with a pop filter on it. James and Tim, welcome. Randy Matthews. So am I loud? I've got this mic showing me all red. Yeah, thanks, Bob. 48. Hey, Josh. All right, so I'm going to jump into a couple questions. I've got a couple that came up in that poll earlier. Thanks everyone for coming out on Friday night. I suppose at least a few of you probably had something better to do than this. I didn't. I think I had something from Jay Dre. You know, as everybody's coming in, hopefully I don't miss anybody. If I do, throw a @2is1 in there, and so I catch you. Jay Dre, your question about how many, let's see, what was it? Have I hit a highly liquid level of gold yet? Eagles, Buffaloes in the stack. And it's a good question because I've been getting stuff that doesn't make sense. I'm going to get into that in a minute, but a lot of that Perth Mint Lunar stuff is kind of the stuff that maybe doesn't make a whole lot of sense, primarily because of premium. Some of this stuff, though, is coming in at premiums lower than the Buffaloes and the Eagles even. So it's not that it doesn't make sense from that perspective, but you know, what's underneath that red box lid right there is going to be definitely not a smart buy. But Jay Dre, okay, so highly liquid stuff. I need a couple more Buffaloes. I need a couple more Eagles. And I would say that I've hit a point where my goals are met. I've got plenty of stuff that's liquid, and you know, technically I already do, but that will cap off a couple tubes. And just in my head, that hits a goal. So at that point, I feel like I can get kind of sort of whatever I want. You know, I'll still continue buying Buffaloes and Eagles, but Magpie, no Krugs. But the Perth stuff that I've been excited about, and the stuff that I tend to kind of ignore or not buy often, I'll probably look at that maybe a little bit more closely. So I don't know. Was the question how much? No. Good. So if I have two more Buffaloes, though, I hit enough to have a tube and then enough to keep around for these videos. And then with my Eagles, I hit a few tubes there that I will probably throw in a vault. So after that, then some of this other stuff, it's not that I'll focus more on this other stuff. Maybe it's just I won't feel bad about it. I saw something about volume. Is that good? Bill, Pocket Change, Eric Kelly, Sam Brooks. Thanks everyone for coming out. Nick the Ice Pick, Riccatoni. So I've got questions here from that poll earlier today, but if anyone has anything you want to cover, you know, let me know. I'm going to pull some stuff out of this case here in a minute. and I'll grab that Lunar Tiger also. But I thought I saw someone had a dragon came in. Yeah, come in Dark Winter. So yeah, that dragon. Uh, the pertinent quality is fantastic, and these things actually have security features built into them. I'm not even sure on this one where it is. I'm seeing a reverse of this. Hopefully, yeah, it's going to be really hard to see anything. Anyway, that these coins are pretty incredible. You get used to the buffaloes and how they have the uneven ridges. I've never seen anything like that on these coins. The I don't know, they're just a fantastic coin. And that one right there cost less than a buffalo when I picked it up. I got it at AppMex, and then JM Bullion just had a few more come up. I picked up another one, and that one should be here any day. Those things they're just an incredible looking coin. So congrats on yours. They're always exciting. I like that they come in a capsule too. You know, we're not going to ding them, taking them out of the packaging. Jimmy Lacari is asking about sovereigns. And so sovereigns are like these LMUs to me. If I lived in the UK, I'd be buying sovereigns all the time. They're capital gains tax exempt. They're a nice size. They're low premium. You know, they're easy to sell. Here, I don't buy them because they're a little bit harder to move. And I think right now, if I took anything to the local coin shop, well, maybe not today, but in the last few months, if I took anything to the local coin shop, it would sell. My local dealers are going to buy anything from me. They're not going to give me as much as I would want for a sovereign, for an LMU, like a rooster, but I could sell them in a time like 2016, 2017. They were a lot harder to move. So I've kind of moved away from them. And I don't know, you can always sell them private to a private buyer, but if you stack up a big pile of them and then you want to move them all in a few days, it just gets really tough. So I like them. I like the history of them. They're a neat coin. They're a little bit like these LMUs. There's just something about the history of these that makes them a lot of fun. Focus on this camera is going to be tough all night, but try to show it. Yeah, whatever. You get the idea. So I like the coins. They're fun to have. They're pain to sell. So, you know, it's a lot easier to sell the Buffaloes, the Eagles. So that's what I stick to. Stormy, what's up, man? Who else showed up? We got Parrish Potter, Empire Precious Metals. You know, I feel like I'm getting most of you. Hopefully, I'm still not good at it. You get someone like Stormy in here who does this, like every single night. He makes me look bad at this thing. Geyser, 24 karat gold buffalo, Matt Deckard. How are y'all? This is a tough one. It's just VV. Hey, how are you? Walter Zikar. Jason Santilli. Glad to see everybody's coming out. Again, Friday night. I never know how this is going to go. Fancy cards. So I put a short out or shorts out on the cards today, and I had some kind of mixed reviews on that thing, but I get a lot of questions on cards. I get a lot of questions on the pocket knives, the books, and I don't feel like it makes a whole lot of sense to make a whole video out of that stuff. So I'm trying out the shorts. We'll see how they work. They get they get like a fraction of the views, and they kind of monkey with the traffic. Once you have a bad video, the following video never does quite as well. So it's an experiment for me. But the last 2 weeks, it just seems like everything that everyone is putting out is based on the Ukraine situation, and that's all good and fine. But some of those videos are getting a little bit too far into the doomer area, kind of starting to feel gross. So thought maybe it was time to do some of those shorts. Cards was fun. I like doing that kind of thing. I don't know if anyone here saw it. A few of you did. What anyone thinks, but I want to do those kind of short videos for the books, the knives, the whatever. Cards was fun. It's not going to do anything for the channel. I thought that those are, they're $10 decks. They're kind of fun to have. So anyway, if you spot that, let me know what you think. If you didn't spot that video, take a look. Posting in the middle of a Friday, probably a bad idea. Yeah, and the poker question keeps coming up. I'm sure if I can pull this drawer, I can't. I've got a couple decks of Bs in there. That's actually what I use. I don't use these Theory 11 cards. I don't use those black ink branded cards, but they're fun. They look cool. Andrew Schaefer, it's either this or Silver Dragons. That's, I didn't even know he does this on Friday. I had a couple people say that. I've never been into one of his. I'm sure those guys all do a much better job than I do live streaming. I know Yankee does it all the time. Again, Stormy's in here somewhere. He does it all the time. He does a fantastic job. I know Speg and a few others do it too, but I don't know. In my head, Dragons is just like in his garage over like a fire pit, pouring some garage metals into weird shapes. But I'm sure there's more to it than that. What else do we have? Silver Forever. And somewhere in here, you had a question. I think you had two. You were like, hey, can you show us some stuff with some shiny background, some shiny fields, some proof coins? I don't know what that, it's such a weird thing, the whole face reveal idea. Whatever. Seems like a bad idea and then seems like a non-event to me at the same time, but it's not going to happen tonight. I thought you had another question though. Silver Forever. And that feels weird to call you Silver Forever, almost as weird as it sounds to call Stormy Empire Precious Metals. So Stormy's asking, why not go into Dragon's stream? I don't know. Stormy, what are you talking about? You mean like right now or just in general? I've never done it because, Dragons doesn't really talk about the kind of things that I'm into. Who's your stacker? Good to have you. Thanks for coming. Jamie Fox, hello. Matthew Weld, who did I miss? Jerry, Mississippi Sun. I feel like I'm missing people. I'm just going to apologize up front. Catherine and James. Catherine, you've been here since the beginning. Yeah, it's going to be really hard to follow the chat. Wayne Drake, thanks for coming. Appreciate coming here. Ragtag Stacking. Good to see you. New channel, a newish. I don't even know how long you've been around, but newish to me. Matt Deckard, new channel. So I don't have to reveal my face, but my voice is too recognizable. I've had a couple times where I have like real life friends who called me up and said they were on YouTube and they spotted me. That's kind of a weird thing. Two is one. Did you know that Jamie Foxx is actually the Jamie Foxx? You're missing an X. I think Jamie Foxx, that the Jamie Foxx that we would all think of, has two X's. Maybe there's multiple famous Jamie Foxxes and I'm just living in a cage. Living in a cage. What does that even mean? Living under a rock? Living in a cave, I think is where I was going. AC. Hey, man, so the level-headed thing. Yeah. A couple years ago when I started this, I kind of felt like, at first I thought that maybe it just made sense to get a couple videos out with like a person didn't know what to buy. Here are just some basic ideas of what you could do. So you wouldn't make a mistake that would end up costing you, that you would regret. And then as you start posting those videos, you end up watching more and more videos. And this week has been a really good example of this. It's some crazy stuff. Nothing against the people who are really into some of the ideas, some of the, I'm going to say conspiracy theories. People don't like to hear that, but some of the wilder stuff, some of the edge ideas, and there's just some weird things out there. I think if I can balance that out, that's great. I don't know how good of a job I do at it, but I feel like there's plenty of the extreme stuff out there. We don't need one more person doing it. Randy, how many people do we have? 135? Yeah, thanks for coming out, everybody. This is you get to hear me stutter as I'm trying to read three things at the same time and talk. It's tough. At least I'm not flipping coins around yet. Dragons has 102 watching. Take that, sir. Michael McCormick. Stop stacking until. Okay, so Michael McCormick says he thinks he'll stop stacking until the world settles down. And this is where most of the questions came in. Like, do you buy at 1973 or whatever it is? And this is something, if I was coming in brand new, just full honesty, I would be jumping in. I would be buying because I would be looking at what has happened over the past 2 weeks, and I would think that it would continue. And I started that in 2011, the initial run up. And, I get it. You feel like you got to jump in quick. You see what's happening. You want to get in on it. But in 2011, for me at least, I stopped. It just felt too expensive, way too early. I felt like I missed the boat. And then in 2013, like quarter three, it started to come down pretty hard. And it was almost dumb luck that I stopped buying because it got really expensive really fast. And then it came down and stayed that way for a long time. So I kind of have a little bit of that in my head, like maybe that's going to happen again. And at 1973, you have to assume that with resistance at 1860, a good $80 of that is purely based on the invasion. If that thing de-escalates, then you're going to lose that $80. I mean, that's just a foregone conclusion. I mean, we all know that it could get a lot worse and prices could go up because of it, but I wouldn't be buying into this kind of run, So now we have the whole weekend. We're going to have 1973. It's going to be really expensive to be buying. I'm holding. I'm going to show a couple things. It's going to be like completely the opposite of what I just said, but it's expensive right now. Gonna shoot up the chat real quick. Flip some coins. So I've got this weird angle on this thing too. Like I feel like it makes like I've got Gumby hands. Okay, so here's what I got. This Lunar Tiger, I showed this somewhere, and I think it's going to reflect, and it's just going to, no, looks okay. This is a 1 ounce high relief coin. I think if you saw the rooster from the dumpster, same idea. And Silver Forever, this is your chance. This is your highly reflective coin. You get to see my ceiling light. This thing is 5 millimeters thick. It's super cool. It's 188 of these minted. It's not the kind of thing I would normally get. Year of the Tiger means something to me. I was trying to track this down. I had some help finding it. I'm super excited about it. It's about as cool as it could get. Someone had a question of like, do you have coins that you would never sell? This is one of them. That rooster is definitely another one. The rooster being the gift that it was and the experience that I had diving through the dumpster to find that thing on really a shit week. There's no way I would sell that. No amount of money would I sell that rooster. It's out of focus. There we go. Tiger is kind of in the same category for me now. It's just a coin that I was trying to get and could not. So now that I have it, there's no way I'm selling it. And I know that these things are going for $4,000 on eBay right now. And that doesn't even do anything for me. Show the ultra high relief St. Gaudens double eagle. Give me a moment. So this coin is very similar to the Perth all the ultra high relief thick coins, similar radius. I think they're all like 27 millimeter radius. Quality wise, they're similar. The Perth coins though have a very clear proof finish. The ultra high relief 2009 ultra high relief double eagles, they are hit and miss. Some of them come off proof quality, some of them don't. The one that I have doesn't. So it's a really cool coin. I love it. It's probably my favorite. Yeah, I would put those two Perth coins ahead of it, but for other reasons. Look at me flipping it like it's a Australian coin. Similar level of quality. If you can get those where they're proof state, they're probably as good as the Perth Mint coins. Definitely one of my favorites. Magpie, I do not have a Krug to show you. Apologies. J. Carl Finance, do you plan on adding to Britannia's? Why are we not? Why are we not? Why or why not? See, when I make a video, if I stutter, if I say a stupid word, I can just cut and redo it. The Britannias are probably the top coin right now in terms of craftsmanship. And I just don't really want anything. I won't stack them. I have two of them at this point. Fantastic coins. They look great. But, after you have a coin for a little while, after you've paid for it, forgotten how much you spent on it, and just kind of start to, I don't know, look at them, that one doesn't do as much for me as the Buffaloes or as the Maples. And so that's just a personal thing. So I'll stick to the Maple Leafs as my third after the Buffaloes and the Eagles. They're the same coin. There's really nothing about the Britannia that I would say is bad. And in terms of security, they're at the very top. But my local coin shops don't really like them much. So I haven't really, I don't have any real motivation to buy more of them. So Love Button is saying the Brits are her favorite. I knew that. I mean, that's, what is that, like 80 or 90% of what you have, LB? It's a cool coin. Again, if I started with that coin and I had 20 of them, I'd buy more. But once you get a number of coins, there's more motivation to get more of that same coin. So if you want to fill a tube, or you just want to keep with something for organization perspective, or to me, it just makes sense. It's like a magnetic thing. I want to like stick to that, like snap to grid on the desktop, of my computer here. I want to stick with the things that I already have. The Buffaloes, I'm just going to go with those until I have a few tubes. Eagles, same thing. Britannias are like an outlier for me. They're a one-off thing. Kind of like that one Krug that I have. So Stormy, thanks for coming out. Hi to the kids. Hi to the fam. Have a good weekend, man. But the Britannias, to me, they're the same as a Maple Leaf. I just went with the Maple Leaf, and so I'm going to stick to them. How much are the 1 ounce gold tigers? So there are 4 1 ounce gold tigers that I can think of offhand. There's the BU, and it's a fantastic coin. And when they came out, they were just a few percent over spot. They were like 5% over spot. And so, whatever spot was at the time, they were coming in the same as Eagles. So the second one, the high relief, the ultra high relief, these are stupid. You'd be, there's an eBay listing right now for $4,000 and the seller's questionable. So I don't even know what to say about that one. That's just one of those that it's almost like unobtainable. You just have to be at the right place at the right time. Then there's the painted version so there's the proof and then the proof painted. And those proof painted, I think there were only 188 of those as well. So if you got a hold of one of those, you're going to be able to sell it for quite a bit more. Now, I don't buy these to flip them, so I don't pay a whole lot of attention. But yeah, Randy, it's just stupid. It's a 1 ounce coin, and they're already going for 4K. And we're also, we're already like it's 2022. We're in the same year of release, so just the fact that you can't get them makes them expensive. There's a big collector market in Asia, and if you happen to get a hold of them, you can sell them for a lot of money. That's one that I'll just never sell. JC, good to see you. The Double Eagle Ultra High Relief looks on another level in this frame above the rest. So having some trouble with focus here, but yeah, I mean, that coin always just looks, it's a standout coin. It doesn't matter what you put it by, it always looks nice. So definitely one of my favorites. And again, if you can get those in the proof state, they're just a super nice coin. Mine is okay. There's no dings, there's no scratches, but it doesn't have that proof quality that some do. Okay, I want another one. And the next one I get, I'll probably be a little bit more pickier, a little bit more picky. Silver Wolverine. Good to see you. Todd, RJS, Zhao. Let's see. Wolverine. I'm waiting for my coin shop to get some more. So the type 1 Eagles and the type 2, if I'm reading this right, like I have a very clear preference for the type 2. I just didn't like the family of Eagles. Plus, you get tired of them after a while. Like I wanted to see a more modern looking sculpture. The art on the coin just needed to be updated, in my opinion. So the type 2, I'm actually excited about. It's dumb, but when I go to buy, if my local shops, and I've been buying them locally, but my local shops have a type 1, like I'll walk away until they get the type 2s in, I'll come back. So I mean, that's like beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Some people like the type 2 over the type 1. I'm one of those people. I just think it's a better updated coin. Uh Good design coins in the Queens or Tudor Beast series. Lions of Dragons. Okay, so I don't know if I'm reading your question correctly, Zal, but the Tudor's Beasts and the Queen's Beast. The Queen's Beast series is one of the best series that I can think of. Those coins are absolutely fantastic. If I lived in the UK or I had any tie to that history, I would have done everything I could to get that entire set. And there's still days where I think I'd like to go back and grab them, but after the fact, you're just paying brokers. You're just paying people who happen to have picked them up. So I won't do it because of that. But that's a great series. And then when Tudors came out, the Tudors Beasts to me aren't quite as nice as the Queen's Beasts. So I didn't jump on them. You can still get them, the BU version, for decent price. And if you were into the Queen's Beast series, you missed that. It might be good to start in on the Tudors Beasts. They have kind of an odd look to me, but I think that they did that because they're sticking with some of the art, some of the period art. That alone from the Tudors, and that's super cool. Western Civ, if you're into that, I would definitely consider those coins. I think they're great. As far as the quality goes, quality is incredible. The the field on the coins, super cool. Nothing wrong with those. You'd have no trouble selling them either. The Lions, that kind of depends on what you're talking about. There's the Czech Lions. There are the big not game animals. I forget what it's called. The South African coins. The designs on them are, again, just really, really nice. That Czech Lion, the most recent one, is one of the best designs I think that came out last year. But people don't know that coin. So when you go to sell it, you have to find somebody who knows it or someone who's willing to take it, just because it's gold. So the Buffaloes, the Eagles, the Krugs, a lot of the coins are 32 millimeter in the 1 ounce size. That Czech Lion is like 37. Maybe it's 35. The Austrian Philharmonic is 37. And the new Spanish Lynx is 37. Maybe I'm getting those mixed up. So the Czech Lion is probably 35. Just the fact that it's a different size throws me a little bit. You got a different capsule, can't put it in the same tubes. So that's enough to throw me off. That's an OCD thing. But I mean, if that doesn't bother you, super cool coins. 24 karat gold Buffalo. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Hit that like button. Where is that? I'm looking at this and like this, seeing this from the back, this is all weird to me. I don't see a like button. Otherwise, I'd like my own video. Agreed. Queen's Beasts are awesome. I don't think that there would be anyone who would say that they don't look awesome. The Yale is maybe a little bit of little weird, but all of those are great. If you don't mind the queen being on the coin, that's one of the top Some people is just they won't do it because it has a queen on it. I don't mind that. She's definitely way overrepresented on coins, and that part's too bad. But Queen's Beast, cool series. I would say that it's probably comparable to the Series 3 Lunars. And the Series 1 and the Series 2 Lunars, I didn't like as much. I would have said the Queen's Beasts are better than those. Now that the Series 3 is out, though, they're just to me, I think this is a new level for Perth. And then I've said this in quite a few videos already. I wish that focus was better. The Chinese Myths and Legends series coins, easily my favorite. I mean, so they beat the Queen's Beasts in my mind. I think that these are just so cool. Uh, I have another one of these 2022 dragons coming, and I mean, I would almost stack them. I've talked to a few local shops, and they don't have any issues with them, so that would have been my only qualm. Uh, Todd, I don't think I said hey to you. So how's it going? One centennial coin. Let's see. What are we talking about? JC. Can I scroll up? Her portrait is just bad. The old portraits were nice. Okay, so Thin Liz on the Canadian maple leaves is a cool sculpture. I mean, it's hard to have a problem with the art on it. People just have to not like, the family. But the new Canadian maple leaves with, casual Liz on there. I mean, she looks like she's playing bridge with the gals. I That drives me nuts. There's no crown and there's no just she looks like a cartoon. So that one drives me nuts. The Thin Liz on the maples, much better. So I do think that you can have a decent sculpture. You can have decent art of the queen. If you look at the Britannia and the Queen's Beast and the Tudor's Beast, that particular art I think is really good. It makes sense on the UK coins, obviously, the Royal Mint coins. And you take that and you add the field that she's on the Britannias, and that to me, that's just they did a really good job. Now this taken a lot out of me to do this to flip to the queen, but I think Perth Mint does a good job with it also. Whatever. Um, I know that a lot of people that are in here right now, the queen's a big turnoff. Again, to me, it's whatever. All right. Do I have a precious metals verifier? Thanks, Silver Wolverine. I don't. I have now that I have the channel, I shop them, and if I had one locally, I would probably grab it. They tend to be out of stock a lot, and I don't feel like I need it because I have the channel. There's a little ad revenue, and I can buy from the bigger dealers. I know the JM Bullion is not going to send me a fake. AppMex is not going to send me a fake, and I can spot them. It's kind of famous last words, but I've purchased two fake coins on eBay. The moment that I pulled them out of the packaging, I knew they were fake. I bought another one from a Facebook group. So the person actually showed up in person. The minute I saw it knew it was fake. And so you kind of get to the point where you know the size of the coins, you know the weight of the coins, you know the luster of the coins, and you can spot them. And I know there are all these examples of this coin tricked my local coin shop, whatever. No, I mean, it's way harder than people make that out to be. And that's again a little bit of a reason why once you start stacking a coin, the Buffaloes, the Eagles, the Maples, in my case, I can spot one of those fake maple. I can spot a fake eagle or buffalo right away. On top of it, you've got some serious legal trouble if you do the actual counterfeiting. And then if you're a broker of that, a little bit of the responsibilities on you too. So I don't worry about it. At some point, I'll probably get it again just because, but it's nothing that I'm going to lose sleep over. Maui, the Bengal cat. Thank you very much. I see you. Come on, I appreciate it. Thin Lizzy. Okay, so I don't have a maple leaf in front of me that has Thin Liz on it. Long neck Liz, you'll hear her referred to. It's the younger queen. And if you see the picture, you just search for, say, like a 1989 Canadian maple leaf, you'll see Thin Liz on it. How much for gold end of the year? So spot prices is a tough one. I made a video in December where I actually kind of went on record of what I think spot's going to do this year just by saying December at the end of 2022, where I think spot will be. And at the time, I think spot was at like 1815. And my thought was that spot was going to end up around 1798, just right underneath 1800. And none of the Ukraine issues happened. We didn't have, what was it, the third variant come out. We didn't have these high inflation numbers. We didn't have a lot of things happening with gold. But I still think that if we get a de-escalation in Ukraine, a lot of the catalyst of what's pushing gold up just goes away immediately. So I would say at the end of the year, if I was going to make that same prediction today, I would say at the end of the year, assuming Ukraine settles down, I would now say 1875. So where I was saying just about 1800 before, I'd just say a little bit higher than that. I think we're going to be trading inside a band. And in that video, I said that I thought maybe we'd trade within an 1850 to 1950 band for most of the year before potentially coming down to 1800. And, at the time, everything that was going on at the time, I would probably make that same prediction again. I think that what's going to happen is like long term, it's going to go up. And of course, I don't know any more than any of you do, but just watching spot as much as I do, and then also plugging in, what I do with the other trading, it's probably a good bet that we're going to see trading within a pretty narrow band, $100 band. Like right now, we're outside of it. Resistance was at 1916. We're at 1973. Anything above 2000, a big surprise from what I thought in December, and we're already right there. So, but I do think some of that will come back down. So I don't think at the end of the year we're going to be 3,000. I think at the end of the year we're going to be more at like somewhere between 1,800 and 1,900. That's just my 2 cents. Hell Creek Trading, thanks. Good to see you. Copper Skies, hello. Jason Gunderson, Stormforge 68. I'm good. Thanks for asking. I feel like I'm probably missing a lot of people again. Sorry for anyone I do. Bugsy, good to see you. Bugsy's one of the mods on the Discord server. If anyone's interested in that Discord server, there's always an invite in the video descriptions. Bugsy helps keep that thing running. I don't know if Riker or Bill are in here. We've got a few mods that are floating around, lurking, always watching. Okay, so yeah, Andrew Schaefer. Okay, so there's a big hype, $3,000. So the reason that people are saying $3,000, and the reason that you'll see guys like David Garofalo say $3,000 is that the last time we got the big push to an all-time high, if you take that in today's dollars, it's at $3,000. So someone like David Garofalo is saying, we have all these things moving gold up. So what would be a realistic number? Well, $3,000. So that in that regards, it makes sense. And I can see scenarios where we'd hit 2,500, even 2,700. 3,000 is kind of a stretch because you have that, just that mental block. I think people will see a big number like that and they'll sell, they'll take profit. But 2,500, I could see that. Now, if things keep, if things are crazy in Ukraine for much longer, we could absolutely hit that. But I think that probably that comes down as it de-escalates, and you have the Fed actively trying to bring down inflation, and some of the things that they're doing are going to also bring down the price of gold. So shenanigans. I think that Magpie is saying shenanigans in Discord. Probably he's the primary shenanigan giver. Dark Winter, good to see you. How do you store your Perth Mint coins? Yeah, they go in a tube like that also. And then I put kind of like buffer capsules in to keep them from shaking. So they're fine. I do have like, so these coin capsules, they're pretty easy to get at AppMex. And, I think I've said AppMex too many times already, but I have 7 or 8 extra capsules. At some point they get scratched up. I'll just replace them. They're easy to get a hold of. The 32 millimeter airtight capsules into, they would rattle around, but again, I use some buffer capsules, some empty capsules. Silver Forever. I don't believe that you're an old fogey. I have you pegged in as 29. Who do you use for spot? Tim F, if you're asking for spot price, I've got the Kitco chart up all the time. I'm always watching that. KT, gold should be 5,000 an ounce. It's way behind where it should be. Totally. But if you look at everything that's kept it down for the last 10 years, I mean, that hasn't gone away. So you kind of have to consider that it's still there. It's still keeping prices down. So just taking that into consideration, that's where I'm at with my $1,900. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets to the end of the year and it's 2,300, 2,500, even 2,700. There are easy scenarios where it gets there. And there are crazy scenarios where it just shoots the moon. Also, all those are possible. When I say 1850, that to me would have been based on 2018. We had prices, where were they? $1,200, $1,300, and we're already at 1,800. That's really good, really strong growth for gold. So, that doesn't surprise me that, we're here. Things have been crazy, but you also have to look at over the last 2 years, how much money people are making in the stock market, how much money people are making in real estate, and how much money people are making in cryptocurrency. You don't have to like those assets, those investments, and you can come up with whatever word you want for Bitcoin, but people are making a lot of money. And so when they're making money on bonds, real estate, stocks, crypto, that's going to take a little bit of the liquidation away from the money out of the gold market. So, it's a weird balance. There's a lot of stuff counterbalancing high prices on gold. And Skull Stacks, if I didn't say hi, I see you in there. Thanks for coming. Good to see you. BC, Brian Thomas, Ryan Turner. I think I missed a lot of. Chat just flipped. Ziggy, good to see you. KT, I already called you out. Luis Fernandez, Ping Pong. My computer's having some serious trouble with the chat right now. So again, if I'm missing you, thanks for coming. I'm gonna do a quick scroll up just to see if I missed anything big. So I know I saw, I think it was Magpie who put some money into my Krugerrand fund. Yep, there it is. There it is. $2 for the Kruger. Always appreciate it, Magpie. Thank you. George Alexander, how are you? Jimmy Two-Tone. You've got an email to me that I got to get back to. I know it's there. I'm not forgetting about you. There's something in it that was a tough question, at least tough enough that I didn't respond. So sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I'll get back to you. Dominators, good to see you. Silver Surf Wax. Okay, let me come back to you. Lucy, it has been a long time. Good to see you. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Full stack. I have not and will not. And it's not really because I don't want people to know how much gold I have, even though there will be videos where I had a video where I poured out a tube of buffaloes, and that alone will get people to throw some hate at you. And I get it. It kind of feels a little douchey to say, here's all my gold. people think it's an arrogant thing. I mean, I'm anonymous on this channel. It's not doing anything to stroke an ego. It's an alter ego anyway. But the reason that I don't do it is I don't keep everything at my house. And I was already at that point before I was making these videos. I had it spread out across 3 spots. And now that I'm doing this video, I kind of have a limit on how much I'll have at my house. I mean, I have kids. I don't want to have a lot of anything that someone might be interested in coming after. So I vault some. And what I do, I keep talking about these tubes. What I'll do is I'll build up to a tube and I'll put that in the vault. It's really easy. The vault, unfortunately, is like 6.5 hours away from where my primary residence is in the non-nice months. So I don't go that often. But if I were to do like someone in here said like do the half stack, well, I could do that. I have a feeling like if you just look back through 3, 4, maybe 10 videos, you'd see everything that I have. You just have to do some mental math to figure out where it's at. Todd, thank you very much for the super chat. I'll put that towards the Kruger end also. Yeah, 24 karat gold buffalo. I think you said go half stack. I mean, even that, I do feel like I get it gives a certain feeling. It kind of gives a gross feeling. I have to think about like when I first started making these videos, I was totally thinking about, okay, so if you're a single mother or you're just not in a great spot financially, not that single mothers are in that spot, but you just want to do something that you feel good about. Yeah, that was my intention for those first videos. And to go from that side of things to the other side, we are just like, hey, everybody, look at all my gold. The last thing I would want to do is anything that might feel gross, somehow demoralizing, because you're like, I'm working on my 10th ounce coins, and look at this joker with all that, that'll take me years to get to. Well, it took me a lot of years to get to. It just kind of feels wrong to throw out too much. I don't know. So I'll consider it, but I don't know. I don't know. I want to do it. I want to do it the right way. Uh, did I see Jeffrey pop in? I did. Jeffrey Jackson, thank you for stopping out. I appreciate it. Good to see you. Jeffrey's one of the people who I talked to a bunch on a back channel. One of the people who actually knows who I am. Chris Arnold, good to see you. Jigsaw Jazz. I just go to say Mark and then chat flips and I lose your last name. Siervo Carlos, good to see you. I'm joking. Striker Enterprises, Marshall Strong, Chris Arnold. I think we had a lot of people just jump in. And yeah, okay, hold on. I'm getting texted questions. I'm going to pass on that one. All right. So I did have some other questions and some things that I think I wanted to kind of get into. One of them was the question was about these guys, these LMUs. And I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I've said so many times now on the channel that maybe they're not the best thing to stack because if you go to sell them in an off cycle when gold's not exciting, they might be tough. Well, there's a lot of people who like them and they like them for different reasons. Some of it is low spot or low premium on spot. Some of it is the historic nature of the coin. Some of it's just a price point. They're a cool coin. I almost feel bad for saying, but probably said a dozen times by now that I had trouble selling them. So I picked some up. I'm going to do some more on the channel on these coins. I really do like them. Especially there's a Napoleon here that, I don't know, Napoleon could have had this coin. You don't know. So there's a really fun aspect to these coins. They're cool. I had a lot of them. And then I had a real estate deal, took them to the local coin shop. The dealer didn't even want them. And so I jumped between 5 shops and Some of them wouldn't even take them. They were declining them. Others were wanting to give me, one of them offered like 85% of melt. And so back to kind of how I started with the videos and just like simple recommendations on what to buy. They just don't follow that line. Now, if you're okay with that, you're a grown adult, you like the coin, you just like them, buy them. I mean, they're cool. The rooster was one of my favorites for a long time. Still love the coin. I just don't want to get in a musical chairs situation. Music stops and I'm sitting on 10 ounces of roosters again. So there were like 4 questions on roosters. That doesn't cover it. We'll get into those in a longer video, I think. So yeah, Matt. Again, and the people who really like them are so tired of me saying it, so I probably should just stop. Anyway, the Roman gold S10K-ish. I don't know that I'm saying your YouTube handle correctly. I want Roman gold. I've been watching for specifically for any of the 12 Caesars. Like I want some specific coins. And there is, I think I mentioned last time that Classical Numismatics is actually giving me a few tips on what to find. And there was a Caligula coin that popped up that I don't know, I'd be excited about him, but it's a $4,000 coin. And if there's a possibility that I'm going to get a fake, it's going to be on a Roman coin because I don't know what that coin should weigh. I can't look at it and say this is a legitimate coin. There's so many reasons I'm out of my comfort zone on those. And again, the price is wild. 4K for a small coin. I still want one. It's just a matter of I have a lot of things to get past. My gag reflex is definitely one of them. So rest in peace, bullion. I'll go back. I do have a base of eagles, and then I moved into buffaloes. So I started with eagles. I have a lot of eagles. I wouldn't even look at some of the coins, maybe even that are sitting out here, had I not had that base already. So I'm fine. If I need to sell something, and for whatever reason, people hated swans, if there was like a swan epidemic, like swan flu, I'd be fine. I'd be able to sell eagles all day long. And so that first Roman gold is way down the line. I just really want some. And some of that's just without going too far into my personal background. I have a lot of interest in Roman culture. Clean money is back. Win Lambo. I thought we were going Lambo, but then I don't know what happened this week. I was just about to brag to my wife. Clean Money knows what I'm talking about. I hate to even say it, but he's talking about the Bitcoins. The Bitcoin is not doing real well this week. Who do we get? Charlie Sierra. I don't think I said hey, so hello. Running aces. Is there any easy way to tell if a coin is fake? Okay, so there are a lot of ways. I mean, hypothetically, you could do the magnet test. You could weigh it. You could check the diameter. It's really difficult to get a coin that has the right luster, the right weight, and the right diameter. Something has to give. And everyone thinks, well, all you have to do is core it out, put some tungsten in the middle. Well, you're risking a felony. You have a lot of effort into that. If you're going to coat it with gold, you have the cost into it. No one's going to gold plate something and have that fool anyone. Just the Liberty engraving on the buffalo, you'd have a hell of a time getting that set up where it actually looks correct. So, I mean, you get a loop out and you're going to be able to spot it. I don't know. Maybe not everyone. Anyone who has fondled the buffaloes for a while, you're going to be able to spot the fake ones. Polybuck, good to see you. How are you? Hollywood Hand, thanks for coming. Good to see you too. $1,000 felt like I had a couple more questions that just scrolled through really quick. I'm gonna scroll up. Mo, how are you? Whiskey EDC. Can't look at the Krugerrand without thinking of lethal weapon too. Yeah, and they pop up. Well, I think they were in succession. It's not a show that I'm watching, but it was on TV, and the tall, nerdy character said his mom was out buying like MREs and Krugerrands or something like that. I laughed. I thought it was pretty funny. I think that people think of Krugerrands, that's like the thing. Like, I don't think of Lethal Weapon. I think of apocalypse stories. They 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 pop up in The Road. Cormac McCarthy's The Road. They pop up all the time, and to me, they are like the disaster coin. And for the record, they're a fantastic coin. If I lived anywhere other than the United States, they'd be pretty high on my list. But Polly, waiting on that poker game. I mean, that's that would be fun. That'd be fun. I'm afraid that if I get into that one poker game, though, I slide back into a decade ago and I never come back out. Cole Crow, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Mark Pataris, how did you get into gold coins in the first place? Okay, so that's probably a good question. I don't know that I've ever given that background, but I had a daughter, and I had a lot of things at that point where you just start looking at, do I need to be spending all my time playing cards? Am I saving enough money in case something big comes up, or going to have a baby on the street? And one of the things that I started looking at is just a better way to save. And I was doing a fair amount with real estate at the time, fair amount with stock market, but I didn't have a big like war chest in case, shit went down. So silver and gold, they just both seemed like easy options. So dipped the toes in, started buying silver. As I read about it more and more, flipped to gold, and it's expensive. I had to get over the price. So I started out slow, 2008. By the time 2011 rolled around, that price spike scared me out of it for a while. But seeing it go up and then seeing it come back down, just knowing how the other markets have worked or worked for me. Once I saw what happened in late 2013, the prices coming way down, I thought that was a fantastic time to just come in. So at that point, my daughter was a few years old, and I thought maybe it's time to stop spending money on some stupid stuff and start putting it away in something that could either be a backup or something I could give to her someday. And so I liked gold for that. I like real estate. I like land, all of these things. If you just think about it, though, you can buy at the time a $1,400 coin. And I was buying quarter ounce at the time, so $400 coin. You buy those over and over. It's a lot easier than going out and buying a duplex. So that was how I got started, and it just kind of stuck. There's something about it. Vertical Stacker had a great video where he was asking why people were buying, and I didn't see it because I was traveling. I thought about it, left him a comment, and it's really one of those things that I feel like you read about gold. It's what everybody's kind of after in all the stories. You know it from all the cultures throughout history. It's been big in every culture from, Egyptians, Romans to, I hate to say Nazis, but we'll end with that. And so it's just in your head as being something that's of value. It's treasure. And so there's a little bit of that. And then you just get a hold of the thing. And I don't know what it is about it, but it makes you feel like, it's something about it special. So that plus it being a stable savings account, I'm all in. Sebsta. Sabsta. How do you say that? Do we say Sabsta? Anthony Frazone. You don't have to do that, man. I appreciate it. Anthony, if you ever go out and you see Anthony Frazone's Instagram or videos, always a humbling thing. He's thrown around more gold that he picked up, presumably over the last week than, I have, period. Bugsy, I know it's Sabat. I don't know. Can we say Sabat and have everybody else know who we're talking about? Heist. Old question. Your bookshelf. One book you've read that you recommend. One book that you still need to read. So I think everybody should read The Count of Monte Cristo. Maybe even Don Quixote. Pick one. I I would say personally, Count of Monte Cristo. They're just fantastic books. I have them on Kindle, I have them on audio, and I have the books that I'll show in the video sometimes. So that's an easy one. A book I still need to read. I read a lot of books. A lot. I would probably say it's more that I need to reread them. The one on my list that I want to reread right now is Shogun. I'm not sure I've forgotten enough about that book to make it warranted to read it again, but I don't know. Uh, I'll think about that heist. If I come up with another one, I'll drop it in here. Jamie Foxx is right. It is called Gold Fever, or you know, Dragon Fever. So there's a book. Can we see this? Angel Maldonado. Why don't you like Scrooge McDuck? That is a good question. I'm just joking. I was joking. I was picking on the Homer Simpson coin before. I have a few dealers locally that I know really well, and they are one of them's just crotchety old guy. I mean, you have to love him, but he's crabby. And I know exactly what he would say if I walked in with that Homer Simpson coin. If I walked in with that Scrooge McDuck coin, he would just point at the door and he'd be like, "Why would you buy that?" And what would happen is he'd be like, I don't want that." So he wouldn't buy it. And then just as you're about out the door, he'd be like, "Wait a minute, I'll give you 92% of melt," or something like that. That's in my head. If there's some reason that you like Scrooge McDuck, grab Scrooge McDuck. Just the fact that it's one of those coins that it's just so silly that someone would have a $2,000 Scrooge McDuck coin, there will be buyers for it. Same with the Homer Simpson. I almost want a Homer Simpson now that I've made fun of it so often, because it is when people come in the comments and they're like, "What do you have against the Scrooge McDuck coin? And what do you have against the Homer Simpson coin?" I've got three of them. For a person to have three Homer Simpson coins, they have to have no worries in life. They have to be so well off, total baller status, that they can throw $6,000 at a cartoon character on a gold coin. There's a little bit to that it's total NFG, and I kind of want one. Be like, yeah, I'm so not worried about money that I have a Homer Simpson gold coin. I'm not there yet. I don't think that I could handle that. I'm not at that status. I don't think I could do it, but it'd be fun. And there's a lot that having a YouTube channel lets you. It gives you a little extra justification to do stupid stuff. And not that you're stupid if you have a Scrooge McDuck or you have a Homer Simpson, but you have a reason for it. I don't have a reason for it. 98% of the population does not have a reason to have a Scrooge McDuck coin. 98% of the stacking population doesn't have a reason to have a Scrooge McDuck coin. You 2%, go wild. It is kind of cool. Art of War. Yeah, I mean, which one? So I would say Sun Tzu, Art of War is just, everyone should read it. I mean, that's popped up. Obviously, I've got a bookshelf up above my head right here. But then Machiavelli's Art of War too is, can you see that? It's great also. This is, the person who wrote The Prince. Where do I put these? You can take the books down from the bookshelf, but you can't put them back. One moment. All right, if those books fall down midstream, we'll know why. Michael McCoy reading the biography about Alexander Hamilton. Yeah, I mean, any of that kind of Alexander Hamilton. There's a lot. Like if you get back into which ones did I have? Uh, there's a lot of those books that you do not want to read. It's a biography, and maybe everyone doesn't have this problem like I have, but it's really hard to get into those books. But then you get started, and they turn out to be fantastic. Uh, Alexander Hamilton's a interesting dude. Uh, John Adams stuff is pretty cool too. What do we have? Jamie Foxx. Do I have 20 pesos? I don't have any Mexican coins, period. I've had them and not very many. I think I've mentioned that I've sold some gold twice. And both times I sold the random stuff. And that's kind of the first to go. I love the pesos. I like the 20 pesos. I like the 50 pesos. The centenarios are super cool coins. The Libertads, you know, nice coins, super expensive. Anything other than the Libertad, though, you can get for a decent premium. I spend a little bit of time in Mexico, and so I would like to have them, but I don't know. I haven't had a reason yet. I kind of have the Eagles and Buffaloes, the special stuff that for whatever reason I really want. They're almost like the high premium stuff, and then I've kind of gotten obviously into the Perth Mint stuff as my fun stuff. The pesos would be kind of right after that, and they'd be probably about the same level to me as the LMUs, the sovereigns, the old gold. So Nick, the ice pick, we get 2 is 1 is something I learned in the Army. Are you a veteran? I'm not, and I don't. I'm always feel like I should say that, like, because not cool to make anyone think that you are. I was too selfish when I was 18. There was no way I was going in. I wish now that I would have. The 2 is 1 mantra is something that's been around forever, but Navy SEALs had taken it and actually put it into like the actual, like even the wording. If you hear 2 is 1, 1 is none, that's from the SEALs. And you'll hear it in every branch of the military by now too. But I just grew up hearing it all the time. Father, uncle, grandpa. It was one of those things that if you work in if you work on a farm, you'll hear it. You don't want to be the person who breaks something and then can't work the rest of the day. So that's where that came from. And you'll see it in the prepper rabbit hole too. Everyone likes to claim that. Preppers will say it's a prepper thing. Yeah, whatever. I think it means the same thing to a lot of different people. Razvan Beleda, is there going to be a 1 ounce rectangular dragon in 2022? I think so. I think that series is continuing. Very cool series. Thank you for that super chat, by the way. And that's something that I've always kind of kicked around because people ask about bars all the time. I thought, well, if I could get away with a bar coin, I think people would probably revolt though. Any chance we'll get that 2 is 1 logo poker card protector? Probably not. I'll just be realistic. Like what Stormy does with his challenge coins, and there are a lot of EDC people who do it, like the Raven the Pirate. And actually, I think his stuff comes from Peter McKinnon, but there are vendors who make them. I don't know if I could, first of all, spend the time to do it, and second of all, I'm too anal. I think I'd have trouble. I'd have to design out both sides. So probably not, but I don't know. It's a good idea. It would definitely be an easy one with the front, the logo. JM Bullion actually, this is probably a private conversation, but it's too late. They actually said that we could do an actual, like a precious metal, we're talking gold, round with the logo on it. And I had in my mind, I would design out a spade for the back. And so I don't know, it's possible. Maybe we could do it in copper. Uh, Nick, the drill sergeant would scream, "Two is one," directly in my that see, yeah, it's it- I've heard it from military, some people from vets, and man, I never know how much I should say, but I do some training, and so I spar with some Marines, and the Marines say it all the time. And it's stuck from again growing up with it, and then I have some friends who say it all the time. There's no getting away from it. If someone screamed it in my ear, I'm sorry if I'm giving you flashbacks anytime you see the two is one channel. Hopefully it's not that bad, but I think I saw vertical. Yep, vertical stacker. How are you? Thanks for coming. Do it in zinc. I mean, if we're doing a challenge coin, it'd be like to keep up with Stormy. I got to do like the whole epoxy thing, like the orange Dorito chips. I'll get reach in the drawer. I've got probably got all of his challenge coins. Palladium and yeah, Clean is talking about palladium. That is a bananas metal. I don't know that I I wouldn't like I think of Sal. Did he have palladium or rhodium? I think he had rhodium, and it just went to the moon. And what did Sal do? Nothing. Sat on it. So he went from having something go to what went to some silly number like $30,000. I'm just saying that. I don't even know what it is. I don't watch it. But so you have a coin that all of a sudden is worth crazy amount of money. Well, who do you sell it to? The local coin shop's not going to be like, yeah, I'll give you $30,000 for that. I have a buyer. They don't. So then you got to watch it go up and watch it come back down. People don't think of it as a monetary metal. You have an industrial use metal as a coin. And so I'd have trouble with that. I see it, but I mean, there are other easier things to invest in. I like the idea of palladium. I like, rhodium. Platinum is where it's at for me if I was going to do it, but I don't even buy platinum. To me, not enough people see that as monetary. You know, it's a it's a great metal. Wedding bands are platinum. My wife's you call it a wedding band when there's a actual stone in it, whatever, wedding ring. If I could count my wife's jewelry, I have all kinds of platinum, but I don't think I'd buy it as a coin. Uh Palladium, rhodium is dumb in a green economy. Yeah, I mean it's catalytic converters. I mean, so it you'll find other uses for platinum, just like you found other uses for silver. Think about what happened when Polaroids stopped being the way that people took photos. The silver market just there was no industrial use for it except for electrical uses. And then, now it has this solar use. Well, you can use graphene. They'll find another use for silver. So same thing with rhodium platinum, the platinum family. Uh, so yeah, but it's industrial, great. To me, if I want an industrial metal, I want lithium, I want copper, I want uranium, and I don't want any of those coins. So I don't know. Nothing against anybody who has platinum family metals. It's cool. I think the platinum eagle, or excuse me, the palladium eagle is the coolest coin that the U.S. Mint puts out. I wish they would do that in gold. I'd take the Mercury front. I mean, super cool. Eagle on the reverse is awesome too. Deal Raven, how are you? Let's see. Did we get a question in there about silver? Yeah, I think we can. Most people know what my take is on silver. I did see a question come through about gold to silver ratio. This is not a popular opinion, but I don't I don't care about gold to silver ratio one bit until I get to a point where I have a lot of silver and I want to move it to gold. Then I'll watch it and I'll time it. But in a normal case, going from silver to silver to gold, you lose so much from a local dealer in the premium swap that it's not worth enough. You have a friend, and hypothetically, everybody has a friend. Everyone thinks they have a friend who will do a swap with them. They think that they can find someone on a Facebook group that can do a swap for them. I know people in this chat have done that. It's rare to be able to find someone who do that. You go into a local coin shop with a monster box of silver and tell them you want to swap to gold eagles. What they'll tell you, they'll get out their pen and pad and they'll say, well, here's what I'll give you for the silver. That's one transaction. And then it'll be, okay, well, here's what it's going to cost for the gold. And they'll just divide it out. They will not go to the gold to silver ratio and then figure out, it's 60, it's 80, whatever, and give you an even swap. Some might. And if silver was super hot at the time and you wanted to swap silver for gold, yeah, they're going to work with you. But mostly you're going to be paying the premium difference. So you're paying the premium twice. So it's a tough thing to go back and forth. And I know people have done it. I know a lot of people will drop into the comments and they say, I bought silver and I converted it to gold over the years and worked really well for them. Probably they had that situation where they had somebody on the other side of it that wanted the silver when they wanted the gold, and it worked out for both of them. Normally, unless you really know what you're doing, unless you really have a good relationship with people, you're going to get kind of the business end of that deal. It's not always going to work in your favor. So, yeah. Some people it works. Personally, I don't worry about it. What I will never do is buy one or the other because of the ratio. I see a lot of people say I'm buying silver right now because of the ratio. Yeah, I mean, I can hold cash. I could buy a lot of different things, take that, sell whatever it is I'm buying, say it's stocks, sell my Tesla stock and move that into gold too. I mean, I could do it hypothetically with anything. So personally, I don't see that relationship between silver and gold, except that the local dealers sell them both. So hypothetically, they would do that conversion for you. But again, they're the ones who aren't going to give you the deal. Anyway, long story, short question. I don't put a lot of stock in it. Yankee stacking. How are you? Good to see you. I mean, I know you've talked, maybe, I don't know, Yankee, I feel like you've covered this before. I don't know. Does it work for anyone else in here? Heist, I don't think you have. I'm sure there are people in the chat who've done it. Yeah, Yankee's saying that playing the ratio with physical PMs doesn't work well. It's just cumbersome. I don't know. If you want to pay premiums twice, that's a good way to do it. Todd says never sell Tesla. Yeah, I have some in a retirement account also. Brokerage, it's in the retirement too. I think it's got a long ways to go. It still has solar. I mean, they have power banks coming up. They have robots coming up. Who doesn't like robots? What else do we have? Royal Mint Lunar Coin Series. Any Lunar Series, Royal Mint, Royal Canadian Mint, that's Australian Mint, anything that's not Perth Mint Lunar, I'm not into. There's some cool stuff. I think that when people think of lunars, they think of Perth Mint. So I want something that's recognizable. I also know that if you get into those times that I was mentioning earlier, say like 2016, and you've got a Euro the Snake 1 ounce coin, you take that into your local dealer, or you try to sell that to a private buyer, you're going to have trouble. So then you say, we've got a Royal Canadian Mint. You're the goat. Well, goat, some people like goat, whatever. We'll say snake. You might be sitting on that one. It might be hard to move. So I stick to Perth Mint. I think Series 3 is like another level above the other series. That said, some of those older, what did we have? The Series 1 and 2, there was some cool stuff. And those high relief, super cool. But I wouldn't deviate from Perth Mint. JD, the meaning of 2 is 1. We just covered this. 2 is 1, 1 is none. The actual 2 is 1, 1 is none verbatim comes from Navy SEALs, but that concept has been around forever. You'll hear about it. Any branch of the military. I'm not a veteran. I grew up with it. People, my family always said it to me. You work on a farm, you'll hear it. It's just one of those things. Like if you need to go fix fence and you don't have, a wire snip, you don't have, a backup, and you're out in the middle of nowhere and something breaks. Well, then one would be none. So if you have a backup, you're fine. And that whole idea, I thought that was a good metaphor for just, I don't want to say financial planning because I that's not what I am, but just the idea of being financially secure, having a backup plan. I think that's kind of what precious metals are about. So I thought it was a perfect kind of move into that. That idea fits really well. To me, gold's that backup plan. You're never going to get into too much trouble if you have precious metals. Two is one, one is none. Uh Bonsai Piper. I mean, you can always try. Silver Survivor, I didn't see you come in. Silver Delta from above. How is everybody? Started trading stocks a year ago. When am I going to be rich? When's the Lambo coming? A year ago, you were on, I don't know, you're on a high. If you would have came in 2018, would have been a little more fun. What the market did in 2020, late 2020, and even 2021 was just silly. Like some of these other markets too. You have so many things propping up that market, artificially inflating that market, that if you had money in the markets, you did really well. It was almost like it didn't matter what you picked, everything shot up. And that's gonna be a little bit different moving forward. But there's still a lot of companies that are going to do well. Like I always mention Apple. I have Apple in brokerage accounts, my kids' UTM accounts, my retirement accounts, my 401k, my simple. It is like I can see how much I put in and how much it's worth today. And it doesn't take long. You have a stock that 10x's and you say, whatever, you put in $65,000 over whatever amount of time and you put that towards retirement. It's I don't see the market. I do trade, but I don't normally see the market as something that needs to, buy you that Lamborghini in a year. That concept is a new concept. You have all these Robin Hood investors, all these new investors thinking that the market, what it's been doing is what normally happens. It's not. You're gonna have a lot of people who have a rude awakening coming up. But the fact that you're in the market, you're gonna do just fine. Just stick with it. Uh Gaming Freak. I know we're using gold to hedge government deficit spending, but what about debt? Is debt a better tool to fight inflation? That's a long topic. Uh, yeah, let's come back. We got to come back to that one. But I don't see, like, I see gold as like a hedge to mistakes, government mistakes, whatever. And yeah, that's going to be a really hard one to come up with on a Friday night. So pass. We'll come back to it. Yankee, do you still own your first ounce of gold? I do. When did you buy it? So I own both. My first two 1 ounce coins. So technically, yeah, it was a Canadian maple leaf. It's in the vault. I own it. I bought, or I still have it. I mean, I bought it in 2009, and I haven't seen it for a while because it's locked up. It's a Thin Lizzy, and it's a very cool coin. I probably will never sell that one. I also have the Eagle that I bought next, still also in the vault. And then really anything that I bought after those two for the next few years, a lot of that went when I sold in, I think in 2015, I sold about half of what I had. So anything that wasn't an Eagle got sold. Yeah, 2009. I mean, dumb luck. I mentioned this earlier. I was a new father, and so I came in because of that. And then when 2011 rolled around, I just felt like I was too late. The prices kept going up and up and up. There were days where I'd want to pick up some Silver Eagles, and I go in and they were $20 last week, and now they're $30. I just set them out. And same with gold. It just felt like I was behind. It reminded me of stocks. You always know when people start talking about it, you're probably too late. And that's how I felt with gold and silver. That happened to be lucky for me that I wasn't buying that run up because it was exciting. But I stopped. I picked back up in late 2013. DV Doomer. CG Road, gold and decks of cards. Are you a poker player? I am definitely a poker player. Anymore, I try not to play so much because it was a big part of my life for a lot of years, and uh, I don't know. I put a lot of time into it, too much time, and I think I've told parts of those stories before. I played, as a tournament player and also cash game player. Uh, I feels funny to go into that too far, but I played a lot. In all, no limit hold'em. Yankee real estate or equities. You can choose only one. I can't do it because if you could say brokerage account or real estate, I could pick that way, and then I would say real estate. But I mean, my retirement accounts are equities, and I would never move away from that. I also have real estate, so yeah, I'm too deeply invested in both of them. If you were to say moving forward, you could only invest in one on almost like that short-term brokerage model, I would say equities because it's just gotten so easy to trade. And yeah, I'd say equities. I think that's easy. Ideally, I want to build more real estate, but trading has gotten the tools are there, the information is there, the speed that you can make money is it's just easier. And you don't get people calling you when the basement floods. Uh what else do we have? Hollywood. Yeah, the other thing that happened, like when my daughter was born, I had a trick knee that I used to run. I used to run a lot, and I've been so I've martial arts my entire life. Another thing that just kind of feels funny to say, but you tend to blow out knees. And when my daughter was born, I don't know, she was maybe 3. I remember thinking that I run like an old man. Like you can't be in the back throwing frisbee and and limping around. So uh, a lot of stuff changed. I mean, I got back to running. I did a lot of things to get not only like the financial house in order, but also the body back in better condition. It's wild how much that will change you. How quickly that will change you. Can I pay for my kids' college out of a Roth IRA? I mean, you can. Well, so I'm not a financial advisor, and I shouldn't be talking about this, but you can put you, you can do some quick googling to see how much you can put into a Roth each year. There are ways that you can put money into a Roth tax free for kids. I shouldn't be saying this, but you can pay kid a salary. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna stop there. Yes, you can. You can do a 529 plan and all those things too. But Roth IRA, there are ways to do that too. You get your money in without taxes. You get your money out with taxes, but in a much different situation. So you can, talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about, though. David Bilbo says real estate. If you can if you can get into the market in a good market at the right time, real estate's great. But I mean, the amount of money that you can make trading if you have the time and the focus is, you know, again, it's easy to trade these days. Uh oh wow, I think I was way up on chat. We just had a flip. Let's see. The speed you can lose it too. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't do anything I say. You lose all your money. But yeah, I mean, you really only want to invest where you can lose. But uh, you don't have to go far to find somebody who had a bad real estate deal. Also, you can lose money on anything. Uh, you know. All right. Yeah, Yankees got the gi out. Yeah, I mean, 27 years of martial arts, uh, Shotokan, Taekwondo, Karate, Hapkido. Uh, One that will out me. Also, swords, knives. uh, what else? Yeah, can no longer hike anymore. That's tough when you've got a career that messes up your back or your knee or whatever. What I've found for me is that if you can get in the gym and you can do certain things, you can fix a lot of things really fast. I mentioned the trick knee. I I can go out and run a mile. You know, I think Speg challenged me to run a mile, and I kind of laughed. "Oh, well, I'll race you. You know, I'm older than Speg, I assume. I don't know how old he is, but I'm I'm in my mid 40s and I can run a pretty decent mile. There was a time though that the knee was preventing it. Man, you get a trainer involved, or you just do certain things, and you can fix things. Numismatics. Um, well, I don't really collect numismatics, and then there's a line like, what do you call numismatic? Like the the ultra high relief rooster here. Technically, that would be numismatic. The tiger, 188 of those. So yes and no. I don't really chase them, but uh, I like them. And I think I always feel like I have to throw this disclaimer out again. I have a lot of eagles, and if I did not have any eagles, I wouldn't jump into really any of these coins that are out here except the buffaloes. So it's a first things first kind of a thing. Get your stack to a point where if you did have an event come up that you had to liquidate, you've got what you need, and then the other stuff. Because for me, it's a little bit more about fun. I know people will buy these coins and then they'll flip them, and it's a profit center for them. So if you're doing it that way, great. I don't like to sell. It has to be for something better than the gold, and I don't make my money flipping coins. So for me, it has to be a couple things. It has to be something that's meaningful to me. Like there's a reason that I wanted that tiger, and it has to be something that maybe I'll find that I think people will find interesting on the channel, or my kids will really like someday. Something like that. There has to be a draw like that before I'll get into it. But I was just talking about Roman gold. Love to have a Roman coin, and that's the collector side of things. I would not flip that. I wouldn't buy that to flip someday. I just think it'd be really cool to give my kids something that's just, bananas like that, like a Roman gold coin. I'd also like to have it. So numismatics, it's not my field. I don't know enough about it, but it's an interest, I guess. Like clean money is saying too much work shipping all that stuff. I mean, it's not. Unless you're lazy like me, like I don't have any motivation to be shipping anything. Coins I don't want to be dealing with that. You have one person say they didn't receive it, or they received something that you didn't have listed. It just so many things can go wrong. I don't want to deal with it. Um, yeah, that reminds me. I don't know why I just thought of this. Uh I'm trying to read these questions, and people have asked if I'm buying right now. And I normally I'd say I'm not, but here I have this tiger. I've got another one of those 2022 dragons from the Chinese Myths and Legends series coming. And then I have this first strike buffalo. Um, in the beginning of February, is like February 1st, 2nd, 3rd, somewhere in there. It was a Tuesday night. Spot was at right at like $1,800. I think it was like 1798. I bought one of these first strike coins for a video. And then as I was looking at it, I thought, well, there's a chance the price of gold could come up. And so I bought a second. And I thought, well, I'm gonna put this thing in a time capsule. And then if spot goes up, I'm gonna not make a purchase that month, that week, whatever it is. And I'm just going to act like I just bought it. And the spot goes down, I'm going to be a big dummy, but whatever. So I grabbed this, kind of had it in a time capsule, and now I feel pretty smart. So where's gold at right now? 1973. This coin all in was under 2000. I want to say like 1960. Paid a little bit more because it's in this stupid TEP. This uh, so I think I went over this on when I did when I cut the other one out. It's like $10 to $15 more to get that coin. And my thought process was all these buffaloes with the uneven rims, maybe a first strike that's actually in the protective casing would be nicer. And they are. I pulled that 2022 out and it's in perfect condition. Nothing wrong with it. Doesn't have the uneven rim. So we have this next one. I don't know if it's worth the extra $14 or whatever it is. If you have ad revenue from a YouTube channel, it clearly is. Anyway, so the question of are you buying? Well, I'm trying not to, but I had this one kind of locked away. And then the second 2022 Dragon came out. Jam Bullion had it. Great price. I grabbed a second one because when AppMex had it, they were out immediately. I don't like buying from LPM. So now I have the 2022 Dragon. This Buffalo, which technically I bought a month ago. And then that Tiger. So the question of are you buying? Well, my immediate answer is like no. But there's 3 ounces of gold right there. So yes. If I was answering that like as whether or not I think someone else should buy, I really think that a lot of what's happening today is going to continue at least for a few weeks. So we have the chance of prices spiking up further, but you get out a little ways, this situation de-escalates, which it probably will, and the price is going to drop back down. So you've got a case of support being at 1860. Resistance was at 1916. We're well past that. It drops back down to 1860 pretty fast if things de-escalate. So I would wait. And I know that the minute that I say that, if somebody's like really wanting to buy gold and I say wait, next week it goes to 2040. And you're going to think, man, this 2 is one Yahoo doesn't know what he's talking about. I wish I would have bought when spot was 1970. It will go back down. It'll be back down at 1850. I mean, it's just a matter of when. So I wouldn't be buying right now. But if it was something that for whatever reason was going to hang out for 3 months, 4 months, I'd come in on fractional. I'd be buying those quarter ounces and just average it out. I'm not going to go broke paying $40 more for a coin. Most people who are buying gold, same situation. So as long as you're not like going to lose sleep over that $40, I would say it's fine buying it. If you're really worked up, or if you've got $20,000, someone emailed me, and not to get too specific, but I think they had in that $15,000 to $20,000 and wanted to buy. I don't know how to answer something like that because I wouldn't do it personally. That was pretty much how I answered. But there's a good chance that a week from now, it's going to look like, yeah, that last week was the time to buy. So, but we're going to get into June. And my guess is that, what is it, March 4th? June 4th, my guess is we'll be back in that 1850 range. Total guess, but if I was planning for buying, I wouldn't be buying a bunch right now. I would either average it out a little bit at a time, or I would wait. JM Bullion seems the cheapest to me. So JM Bullion, they are now a sponsor of the channel, and I don't get commission for them or anything like that. You'll hear, so they I just think they're super cool because I spend a lot of money. Sometimes I'll buy with credit card just to get something faster, and I don't worry as much about shopping sometimes because I want to have something on the channel. So when they reached out and they said that they would give me a little bit each month, I can use that to kind of fund the stupidity. They're fantastic. They're not always the cheapest, but if you have a problem and you call them, they're always great. They are the only ones that I know of that do the military discount that I think is solid. I think that's super cool. Uh, they're not the cheapest. Neither is AppMax. You pay to get the pros. There are a lot of others that are out there that are really good also. I use bullion exchanges as kind of my cheaper. Some people use SD, but any of those are great. JM, I'm a big fan. Well, obviously, I'm biased. Um, Interest rate hikes seem short term bullish for the dollar. Any thoughts? Yeah, I mean, so here is the thing that's counterintuitive. If you have real rates that are so if the Fed increases the interest rates, but they don't increase them enough to cover inflation, your real rates are negative. So you get the impression that, yeah, money is going to be more expensive. It's going to hurt certain markets. And I don't know how that affects the dollar, but normally that would be downward pressure on gold. But if you have investors looking at what's happening and it's not covering the inflation, well, then the idea is that the Fed isn't doing enough. And it actually could have the opposite effect. Gold could go up. There again, it's like if they don't do enough. So that's kind of been one of those scenarios that was given. I think Leor Gantz gave that idea like a year ago. He mentioned something like that. And it stuck with me because as it started to happen, it felt like, yeah, that's actually really, I mean, he's a super smart guy. Really started to feel like, okay, everything he said is playing out. It makes sense. If the Fed is coming out with 25 basis points, that's nothing. If they have to do that carefully, which they do, they're not going to get ahead of inflation soon. So I don't know that it's going to have the downward pressure immediately. What would is like if we didn't have anything happening in Ukraine and we had the jobs numbers that we had today, that would have been downward pressure on gold. There are a lot of things like that those factors aren't even playing out correctly. So you don't even know what is affecting gold price right now because there's so many different things pointing gold different directions. It's tough to say. I don't even think we can say whether inflation is going to do anything, whether the Fed interest rate hikes are going to do anything. The Fed is actually getting stuff off the books also. Like that what's happening with the treasury yields, all of that stuff. If that was the only thing happening, you could say, yeah, that's going to send gold up or send gold down. When you have 13 different factors, who knows? I mean, it's nothing is normal right now. Like stocks, not normal. Gold, not normal. Everything is in bizarro world. So who knows? I think a lot of people came in that I've missed. So just gonna flip up real quick. RR, Empress Kimberly, Pocket Change, Eric Wright, JDR. I think I saw you, JDR. Southwest Iron. Welcome everybody. Silver Lumberjack, ISR Independent Agency, Raymond Noy likes SD. Yeah, I mean, just gonna run through a few more. Well, and then my chat flipped. I'm the worst at trying to keep up with chat. We got some questions coming in. Let's see. Do you think a bank would give you $50 for the American Gold Eagle ounce? By the price of gold. Follow up. Do you believe a business could operate with gold as currency for services? Okay. So a bank will give you $50. And depending on where you're at, the bank will give you the spot price as well. There are actually banks in the United States that would do it. I think there are a few in Texas that would still do it. In Mexico, that's just the way they operate. In South Africa, that's the way they operate. And actually, on the Krugerrand, the reason it doesn't have a face value is because the banks will give the price of spot, whatever, for that coin. And obviously, Friday night, my words aren't working, but the same idea happens in Mexico. So US, it's different. Obviously, the $50 face value is just to show that it's legal tender and it puts it in a certain legality state there. So there are a lot of things that you can or can't do with currency. So the fact that these gold coins have to face value means that they're government backed. Government backed does not mean that they would get that the government would give you 1973 for this, just any government entity or any bank. That makes it weird. I mean, but you're going to get it. You know, plenty of places you can get that money back. Clearly, obviously, but United States isn't like Mexico or South Africa. As far as businesses operating with gold or even with silver, you want to get in trouble with the IRS really fast. You try that. You go buy a car with metals and say, "I'm going to give you whatever the face value is, and we're going to work taxes off of $400." Rather than $16,000, 400 versus 16,000, you're going to get in a lot of trouble. Anyone finds that out, gets an idea that you're doing that, you'd be in trouble. So if you were running a business that way, got to be pretty quiet. If you're going to do anything like that, obviously I would not recommend it. Earlier, I saw somebody in here who I know who has said that maybe they do it. I'm allegedly. And yeah, I mean, it seems like a great idea. I think in a video I mentioned once that there are some people out in the mountains that will take gold or silver for services, just like a lot of vendors would take, a lot of construction workers would take cash, to fix your roof. The same idea. You're not supposed to do it. And the reason obviously is because of tax, income tax. So this would be getting around that. You don't want to run a business in an environment like that. You're breaking laws. So up to you. What else do we have? Clean is saying that in Canada, he thinks banks have bullion. It's not. So yeah, I've heard that too, that you can buy from certain banks. I don't know enough about that. I do know that Canada doesn't officially hold any gold anymore, the country. Am I a drinker? That's come up a lot. I'm not bonsai. It just it puts me to sleep. If I could figure out a way where I didn't need to sleep, like vampire style, that would be me. I'd do it. So alcohol puts me to sleep. In the summer, I'll drink a little bit. Any other time, I just don't. When I do, it's gin and tonic, maybe vodka tonic, or I'm not a big whiskey drinker. That gets asked all the time. I don't know if there's like a certain aesthetic that I put out that makes it look like I'm a whiskey guy or a cigar guy. Instagram sure thinks I am, but I don't. Whiskey cocktail, maybe old fashioned, maybe Manhattan, maybe, but I'm not a whiskey guy. Not a big drinker. You want to have an advantage playing cards. You'd be the only one who's not drinking. Pocket change, only bring it up because of tax purposes, service costs. Totally, 100%. I get why, but you don't want to get audited. You only have to be audited once to understand why you don't want to be audited. Old man Jenkins hates sleeping. Waste of time, 100%. Plenty of time when you're dead. The thing with what I was saying earlier about having kids, everyone says how tired you are. I never was until I got into when I got back into the gym doing the heavy weights. That'll make you tired. Drinking will make you tired. Sitting around doing nothing will make you tired. You got to find a happy medium in there. But I don't know where I was going with that. Tequila shot. Yeah, I mean, the idea, you got to get past that first beer, just hit the tequila. I get it. I mean, I know the tricks. I went to college. I spent plenty of time in the R&R world, but if I have any work to do, or if there's no reason to be drinking, yeah, I'm not doing it. I don't come home and grab wine. I don't come home and grab whiskey. It just makes me tired. I'd rather get some more work done at night. Work anymore. What's work? I'm doing these YouTube videos. Greg Taylor, does digging up bullion coins drastically affect their value? So when I started making these videos, I think I mentioned that I had some dealers who almost put the maples under under the magnifying glass. That when I started making the videos in early 2020, everything that I was saying was based on the years prior to that. Everything has changed now. If I go in today with a maple leaf with a scratch, they don't care. And if you've seen a local dealer handle bullion, it's, I mean, you just cringe. I mean, I think that Stormy had a video where his guy, Steve, was trying to get a bunch of buffaloes out of a mint tube. And he was doing exactly what all of my local dealers do. Pour them out, he's banging the mint tube against the desk, and you can just hear Stormy's back like tightening up. It's a total cringe, but they don't care. Bullion is bullion, an ounce is an ounce. As long as it's not marred to the point that a buyer doesn't want it, they're fine with it. Now, you get out of a cycle where everybody's excited, like when the retail excitement for gold is low, 2016. Yeah, nobody wants a scratched up maple. So try not to ding them. If you get some with dings, it's fine. I've got the one Krugerrand that I have is cull. I mean, it looks like somebody drug it behind a car. And that I probably bought it for melt. And when I go to sell it, I probably sell it for the same type of spread. But if I had that, it was brand new, and then I went to sell it and it looked like I drug it behind my pickup, that'd be a different story. So it matters and it doesn't. Little dings don't matter. I've done videos on my buffaloes. I don't think I have one that doesn't have some kind of ding somewhere, except that 2022 that I paid more for. Dealers don't care one bit. I'm looking to see if any of these are dinged. They aren't. I have a 2010 that's kind of dinged up. I could take that into any of my 5 local dealers, and none of them would blink. They'd give me the same price for that they would for the 2022. Clean just does not like those Krugs. Persian Stacker, good to see you. How are you? So Merrick Abar. Never buy bullion. Wait, is that a question for me? Never buy bullion? I always buy bullion. I don't know. Sometimes when people say that, they mean bars, which I don't buy. But almost everything I buy is modern bullion. Buffaloes, eagles, maples. I should maybe clean up this desk a little bit. And definitely, I don't know why I'm advertising AppMex for everybody. But 90% of what I have is eagles or buffaloes. That's bullion. All right. Dropped and scratched my first maple 2 hours after purchasing. That'll leave a scar. That'll hurt you. Yeah, that sucks. I've dropped a coin making these videos, dinged it. Stupid. And it bugs you for 2 weeks and then you forget about it. He dings them when doing his videos. Yeah, I mean, it's mine. It's love handling. I don't have anything except for that one ding. All of these videos in and out of those capsules, and I've only had one small ding. I'll take it. Not a big deal. Texas Left Ridge, how are you? Good to see you. MD Siron. I don't know if I missed something earlier. Blind Silver Stacker 47. How are you? Andrew J. Do you ever play with your precious metals? Ever since I got the Eagles and Buffaloes last year, taking them out of the lockbox once a week and fiddling it. I mean, I do it, 2 or 3 times a week? That's what these videos are all about. I think I mentioned the vault. I've never had everything at the vault. I've always had some. I've never been afraid to get them out. I've never had afraid to have them out of capsules. Eagles are in mint tubes for me typically. So these capsules are almost new. Most of what I have now is in a capsule, but the Eagles, I always had those things out. Any of the roosters that I had, they were always out of capsules, and I don't mind doing that. So I'm sure someone cringed. I wouldn't do that with the maple. I wouldn't do that with a 1 ounce coin. They're heavier. They might possibly ding if it's a 24 karat coin. Those are hardened. Those are strong. Um, G-Rock Blues. I don't think I saw you come in. How are you? Scott M. Same. All right. Do you believe in buying gold even at these high prices? I covered that earlier. Yeah, I mean, I'm not buying at 1973 or whatever it is. This weekend's going to be a tough one, but I did, again, I kind of time capsuled this one. Bought that February 1st ish. I just bought another one of these. It's on route. I ACH'd it, so there's a waiting period. I've got the Tiger here that sometimes something comes up that's doesn't even matter what spot is. The price is the price. Those kinds of things I'll still buy. I guess technically, I mean, I got bullied into buying these LMUs, these 20 francs, the Rooster, the Angel, and the Napoleon by my Discord pals. So I bought those as spot was on a run. So I say no, but here I am. I've got 3 1-ounce coins and 3, whatever those are, 1867, 0.1867 coins. So yeah, I mean, I'm buying, but I wouldn't recommend it. I know that, spot's going to come back down. So probably go, now that I say that, it'll go up next week, but it has to come back down. Junk silver. I'm not even gonna engage on that clean. 2022 gold Libertads. You guys knock yourself out. I mean, I wish I could hang with your Libertad buying, but man, those things are expensive. And then on top of it, you get those in and they don't even fit in a normal capsule. Where do you put them? They're a super cool coin, but what are they, like 34.5 millimeter outer diameter? That's just rude. Can't even put them in the same tube. And then you get a reverse proof, and it's what, $3,000 just because Mexico doesn't make a lot of gold coins. I mean, they're a good looking coin, but so is a maple, so is Britannia, so is Buffalo. So is the swan and the dragon and the tiger there. I don't know. One day I'll buy them just out of peer pressure, but Eric Wright, kick him in the knee. I hope we're not talking about me. And for the record, my trick knee is fixed. $5.99 for quarter ounce proof. Yeah, I don't know. This is messy to me. This desk is messy to me. Like, this is not representative of what I buy. So to have another one-off quarter ounce, I don't know that I need it. The copper spot bad too, risky buy. And then you have, you're freaked out because you just paid $3,000 for a 1-ounce coin, and then you run it on a Metalytics, a Sigma, and it says it's not a legitimate coin. There are things about it that might scare you. Copper spotting doesn't scare me. Basically, what happens is minting process. You get some iron shavings. Gold is soft. Microscopic stuff that's just barely embedded in the gold, and then it rusts. I mean, you can get that off quickly, easily with just like a vinyl eraser or blowtorch if you're crazy. That doesn't bother me a whole lot. I'm more triggered by the outer diameter being weird. No, have a sexy angel. I know. And then you've got both sides are cool. I mean, there's no doubt that you've got the states, or just the the eagle on the cactus with the snake. Super cool. I'm all for it. I almost like the half-ounce reverse better. Is it the reverse or the obverse? I think it's the reverse. They're super cool. It's irritating that it's the wrong size. Same with the maples. I mean, why not make it a 32 millimeter 1-ounce coin? That's just dumb. If I only had a choice of one coin, what would it be, Boogeyman? I mean, right now it'd be the buffalo, because I don't see any difference between a buffalo and an eagle on a sail. Wish I could get this focused. Do I? Up until 2022, it was, sorry if I'm freaking people's eyes out, it was an eagle hands down. And now, I mean, the buffalo is the same thing, but the upside is you've got a 24 karat coin. If you ever did want to, for whatever reason, sell it in another country, or anything changes down the road, It's a pure gold coin. It doesn't need to be hardened anymore. Nobody's, walking around with them multiple eagles in their pocket kind of a thing, or multiple buffaloes in your pocket. So you're not going to scratch them up. They're all in capsules. I'd go with the buffalo. If you could just say worldwide, what coin would he get? It'd be the Canadian maple leaf, no question. Usually they come in a capsule. I know they were talking Libertads again, but I ding up capsules like nobody else. I mean, I have just in this drawer, I have 50 capsules because I have, I scratch them up in and out of the tubes all, for these videos. And some of these other, these high relief liberties, that's a specific capsule. They're hard to get a hold of. And if you're a dummy like me and you pull them out of that capsule and you crack the capsule, getting a replacement is tough. I mean, it's you running into the same thing. 10 years down the road, that capsule is going to look like hell. Drives me nuts. Banco Azteca, yeah. And I've done that before. It's super cool, but I don't know. That's the way to get them cheaper. Not like getting to Mexico is cheap, but Tony B, new wedge-tailed eagle from the Perth Mint. Yeah, it's super cool. It's like the swan. I think that, I was going to say emu, but cooler than an emu. I try to get stuff, though, that is pretty recognizable. So, it's a cool coin. If it was local and it was a great price, I'd consider it. I try not to buy those things because it's a slippery slope. Pretty soon I'm buying Scrooge McDuck. Thoughts on the Lunar series? So Dangle 3. We're talking about this earlier. I really like the Perth Mint Lunars and specifically the Series 3 Perth Mint Lunars. I think they're better than any other Lunar series, period. I'm considering getting everyone in the series now that I'm kind of hooked on them. But in the prior series, Series 2, Series 1, if you had a goat or a snake and you wanted to sell that to a local dealer, you might have trouble moving it. Dragon, tiger, no problem. Pig, snake, you might get stuck with it. So I don't know. Because I have eagles, because I have buffaloes, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but because I already have a base, I don't think I'll have any trouble. And anyone who's been dealing with gold for a long time, you'll be able to sell them. But if I get hit by a bus and then my wife has to move them, I'd rather she has a bunch of buffaloes rather than a snake, a goat, and a pig that she has to try to move. Hollywood Hand, thank you. Appreciate that. AU Minor. Jason, plastic starts to melt. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to talk about fireproof safes, and your gold's going to stick around it. It's a very high melting point. You're going to have trouble. The plastic, maybe it melts onto the gold and mucks it up. You can always recover the gold, though. You just have some gold bars rather than some nice buffaloes. Prefer the standard gold buffalo to the proof. Jason Gunnarsson. I do too. I have a proof. I think it's in here. Whatever. Drives me nuts because it's just different. And it's certainly not going to keep it in a box in the box it came with. So I keep it in with the other buffaloes. It just looks different. And that makes my eye twitch. I wish I would have just got a BU instead. Certainly wouldn't pay more for the BU. 3D print your own capsules. Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. I want them I want like sapphire glass, Gorilla Glass, something like that. I think that'd be super cool. And it wouldn't scratch. It look great. I know there's someone in the chat who does some ceramic coating. Can you ceramic coat gold? That'd be cool. I don't know how you get that off, but maybe ceramic coat the capsules. Texas Left Ridge. I know you talk about other investments, even if things economically get bad. No, someone would buy the gold. Do you think a Rolex would be the same? Yeah. No, I don't. I think things got bad. Gold is different than a Rolex. Uh, the reason that Rolexes got hot, and this is just my hot take on this, is similar to the reason that Pokemon cards got hot. You had a bunch of helicopter money dropped on people who were already saving money because they weren't traveling. There were certain entitlements that came out. There are certain things that people weren't spending their money on. People had more disposable income. They had more time. And for the record, I get that a lot of people had some serious shit go down in the last 2 years. Just some people that had more time that were able to sit around and play the equity game or play the collectible game. And so Pokemon cards went up, Rolexes went up, and I have a Rolex somewhere. I didn't even realize this, that I can get something like 80% more now than I could, or that I paid for it. And so, yeah, I mean, they're doing incredibly well. They're doing better than gold. But in a down market, you get a really bad like economy. There's going to be a lot of people selling Rolexes. I wouldn't want to have that as my hedge. Clean is saying you can ceramic coat. It's not worth it though. I get it. Old man Jenkins, thank you. The Libertad jar is filling up. It's only a matter of time. Philip Rory, hello. I don't even know if I'm saying your name right. Philip Rory, maybe. Christopher Angle, Spencer, a lot of people in here that I probably didn't say hey to when he came in. Our Rolex always withhold inventory of the popular one. Yeah, some of it though, they got behind. I mean, if you want a steel sports series, they can't keep up with them. Some of the dealers might be holding those back, but they want to sell to certain people who they think are going to be repeat buyers or get them more buyers. The dealers will tell you it's going to be 18 months, and then they might tell you that, and then the next guy comes in and maybe he looks a little more, I don't know, cool, grown up, proper, put together than you, and he walks out of the store with one. There's definitely dealer inventory in play, but mostly it's a production issue. You just cannot get those steel sports series watches. They're tough. If you have one, you can sell it for double what you paid for it. But you get a big economic crash, I don't think you're in the same place. Do you buy the minors? Any good dip suggestions? Juniors, yes. Seniors, no. And the thing with the juniors is that now that I've been talking to them more, you can kind of spot that they're in news cycles. And you know if they're not a financial advisor, not advice, but usually when they pop up, they have good news. And so you'll see an ensuing kind of spike, we'll say, to the price. They'll also give you information like, this is what we're looking for. It's either drill results or we've got a property that we're going to spin off, those kinds of things. You can figure out a junior more than you can figure out a senior. I guess I'm talking about what I can figure out. I've done very poorly with seniors. I've done well with some juniors. So I do buy them. Also, I see more opportunity. I've talked about uranium a fair amount. I like uranium. I like copper. I like lithium. Gold, there has to be a compelling reason. And, I know there's some I talked to recently that I really like, but they're like anything. You get some winners, you get some losers. But miners, to me, that's not a great place. I don't like the Barracks and the Newmonts anymore. I've never done well with them. It's because I'm just not good at it. First Majestic. Yeah, you can also look to see who the investors are. And if you've got a Keith Neumeyer, if you've got an Eric Sprott in there, chances are they saw something. All right. I'm just looking at the time. We're probably getting close where I'm going to shut this thing down and let everybody have their Friday nights back. But any other questions? Hopefully I spotted most of you. Muhammad Hassan, good to see you. Let's see. If you remove a PAMP from its barcode packaging, does that make it lose value? Yeah, so you have local dealers who will want to acid test anything that's out of the assay. And sometimes it'll be in the assay and they want to take it out to acid test it, which reduces the value, puts you in a bad spot. If you look at the PAMP Swiss and the Credit Swiss, some of the new bars have the removable packaging and they come with COA, which is really cool. So you can take them out, put them back in. That'd be the way that I'd go. Jeffrey Hoppier, good to see you. Jerome, good to see you too. Had some fires to put out at work. Yeah, I mean, this will be online later. Good to see you though. I appreciate coming out. All right, so I'm gonna shut this down. We're gonna call it like 5 to 10 minutes, so we can cruise out with a few more questions. I feel like I had some questions I was going to talk about. I don't know if I missed some obvious ones. Maybe I did. Take a look at that short though, if you haven't seen it with the cards. I'm not changing focus on this, but I get a lot of questions like, what are the cards? What are the books? What are the pocket knives? And it doesn't make sense to do a whole video on it right now. I've kicked around creating a second channel for that. What I'm going to do right now for the short term is do some shorts so I can cover those. I think that they're fun. I think that they're compelling. They're 45 seconds, maybe a minute. You know, it's not gonna. Hopefully, it doesn't bug anyone to watch a 50-second video about some cards. I think that they're fun. So let me know if you do watch those shorts. They get like a third of the traffic, maybe. So they don't do well, and they're really not good for the channel. But they're an experiment. You know, if they're interesting to anyone, let me know. Otherwise, I got to figure something else out. Christopher Angle, hopefully I didn't cause you to buy more gold at current prices. It's expensive. Honey Bear, how are you? Next time, please show us close-up of your new 2022 Dragon Coin on the display stand. Nobody watched that video. I think Clean Money had a video too where he had similar coins, and people don't watch those. They don't care about your fun coins. They want to know about the Buffaloes. They want to know about the doom and the gloom. And I'm going to say something about that real quick, too. First of all, Clean Money sent me these. These are, thank you, Clean. Do we call you Britches or do we call you Clean? I don't know. He knows I like these. These are super cool coins. I don't know what your reason for sending me those was. I'm sure there's an invoice coming. I'll happily pay it. Thank you. Super cool. They look terrible because they're out of focus, but where was I even going with that? The videos for the Perth Mint coins, nobody cares. And it's wild because I want to show some of those things that are fun sometimes, but if I'm talking about that rather than a doom and gloom video, like I had the same, so within 2 days, I posted that video and then something that was about the kind of the turmoil in Ukraine. And then that video that mentioned Ukraine got 6 times as many views as the video about the 2022 Dragon, which I thought would have been a cool video. I spent a little bit of time showing it in a nice way. But man, if you talk about shit hits the fan, that's going to get you the views. I kind of hate that because this last week I felt a little gross talking about, you know, what happens in a war situation. I don't like dwelling on negative stuff. We all know what's going to happen. And I'm seeing the videos popping up where they're using certain words, trigger words, nuclear, whatever. That drives me nuts. Got to the point at the end of the week, I popped up UNICEF and I made a donation. I was going to mention that earlier. I mean, I just have felt kind of gross. I figure any ad revenue coming from those, I'm going to give that to, I think that there's like Save the Children is another one. Red Cross is always a good one, but UNICEF right now will send it right to that area. So I made a quick donation there. I'm going to do that again when I see what the advertising revenue looks like for the month, because it just felt gross doing it. And it's my video view counts are way down this last week when I stopped talking about that. Just, you can see that anywhere, you know, and maybe I'll do a little bit of it, but man, if I see a mushroom cloud on, or, you know, here's how to survive, that's just gross. There's no reason for that. I mean, whatever. I don't want to have a channel that dwells on that kind of stuff. I guess where I'm going, and you know, cards, maybe that's too far of a swing the other way. A video about, one coin might be a swing the other way, too far. But I'd like it to be more about, the upside and not the downside. Anyway, I think I've kind of burned my 10 minutes just talking about that. Uh, do we have anything else that we need to cover? I mean, Clean is saying don't forget to donate. There's so many things that you can do. If you want to clean up your karma after putting out some questionable videos, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. I like UNICEF. I think that you can get into some of those. You don't have to have anything political about it. It can just be, hey, there's some people going through some shit that, they're dealing with some stuff that I don't have to. I'm talking about, look at all this gold that I bought in this period of time. These people, their kids are on the streets. They don't have a home. Life could be a lot worse. And I don't want to be doing those kind of videos. I think that's the long story short. Yeah. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's shut this down. And I'm going to try to get some of these shorts out and some other videos. If you have some ideas you want to cover, I would love to get a focus on the channel that people are interested in, but maybe a good mix where it's not dwelling on the stuff that typically gets views on YouTube just by exaggerating bad stuff. So, all right. What do we have? Let's see. So Texas Left Ridge. Yeah, I mean, there's so much of it. On point. I'm having a bad week, a bad YouTube week because I subscribe to a lot of these people, and my feed is so full of it that I'm about ready to do like a total spring cleaning reboot, unsub from a bunch of them, and just come back to the ones that are giving me something that's useful, whether it's motivating or good information or just something that's fun to look at, rather than the constant fire, constant explosions, constant, you know, global destruction type of headlines. It's gonna eat you up. Anyway, hit up UNICEF if you're like me and you put out a video or two that's getting some ad revenue from other people's really terrible bad week. All right, we're gonna shut this down. Thank you everyone for coming. If you popped into chat and I missed you, apologize. I tried, and I know that I'm not good at this. Hopefully, I'm getting a little bit better, but I really appreciate you coming out. It's Friday night, spending time in here with the coin nerds. I appreciate it. Jerome, I don't think I said, hey, do I give a name to each coin? I don't, but I'll consider it. Anyway, thank you, everyone. We'll do this again. If you have ideas for the next one, you can drop them in the comments here, or I'm sure I have some videos coming up. Appreciate you all coming out tonight. Thank you. Have a great weekend.